This is Chongqing, China, a city of over 30 million people, often called the largest in the world. Futuristic, neon-lit, towering skyscrapers that look like something out of the Blade Runner. People online call it China's cyberpunk city. But just outside its glowing skyline, we found something no one talks about. An entire neighborhood hidden in the hills, completely abandoned. These are not just regular homes, they're mansions. Multi-million-dollar estates left half-finished, never lived in, and forgotten. So what happened here? Why was this built? And why did everyone disappear? And most importantly, why is no one allowed to talk about it?
Why are they abandoned?
They're abandoned. It's a little bit political, though.
Abandoned mansions and apartment buildings has been an ongoing phenomenon in China for years. However, the ones that most of us have heard about have pretty simple explanations behind it. China's had a very public housing bubble, which collapsed and led to a lot of project developers being out of pocket when building these mansions. But in Chongqing, China, it's a little bit different and a lot more mysterious. The story behind Chongqing's abandoned mansions is a lot more controversial. It's rooted into the politics and potential corruption, which has led an entire luxury neighborhood completely empty.
You know what we're gonna find up there?
This neighborhood was not designed for luxury, it was designed for power. These weren't rich buyers looking for a big house, they were government officials, people who wanted to live above it all, both literally and figuratively. Perched high in the hills with a view that stretches across all of Chongqing, this place was built to separate them from the average citizen. To even get close, we had to climb. No road, no signs, just a steep, rocky path leading to the top. We have gone off-road. Look how narrow these stairs are. I don't know how far we've climbed, but it's a long way down. Wow, so we're really high up now. Look at that. All the way down there. If we fell, we're cooked.
Very careful.
I feel like outdoor boys right now, for real. Channel my inner Luke. Is this one? Oh my lord. You can see a little bit of them, I don't know on camera, but you can see a few buildings.
What we call them, they just fund these abandoned houses, just move in because there's nobody else.
Like laundry and shoes.
Yeah, there's no water, no electricity, so they have to figure it out on their own.
Wow. Completely abandoned. So no electricity, no running water, and I think people just obviously squat in these places, which is probably smart because they look pretty usable.
That doesn't look very abandoned to me. Oh, it looks pristine. Let me move in there.
That one.
And this one has a car in it. Someone drove a car into it. So is that car abandoned as well?
Yeah.
So this would be their view if they did actually finish the mansion. You can see, I mean it's hard with the fog, but see there's a road there and then a bunch of the silhouettes of the skyscrapers, which looks crazy. It looks very, very creepy from up here. So we're trying to find out more information on these abandoned mansions because just taken us here, and then when we asked him, he was like, oh, it's a bit political, I don't want to say. So I don't think this is a topic that we could just go home and Google to find out more about it.
So we started asking questions, and according to a few locals, this place was never meant for ordinary people. These mansions were reportedly built for high-ranking government officials, not bought, but gifted, given away quietly behind the scenes. But once the public found out, everything collapsed. The idea that politicians were handed luxury homes while millions struggled to afford housing, it caused outrage. Backlash was so intense, the entire development was abandoned. Construction was halted and the mansions were left to rot. At least that's the story that some believe. The second theory that we heard was much darker.
Before they were even sold.
They were abandoned. They didn't even sell because they were reserved for the governors. So that's why it's so far away from the city center. Because it has to be like very far away and very hidden on a mountain. So if you want to bribe the governor, it should be somewhere secret. But
Hey, risky business, bud. What?
It's like a fucking drop there.
You just walked over a drop.
It drops
Yeah.
in between that.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it. You need like a phone.
It's here. Maybe it's the same.
As Dylan's walking across this beam, I don't know how much you can see on camera, but down there is pretty much just a straight drop. So if you fall through or fall off this log when you're crossing, you're basically going through a crack, and then I don't know where that goes. The depths of hell. Damn, there's just a Chinese flag over here. Look at that. Cool to guess what kind of rooms these would have been. Wow, the view over here. The world really did go to shit. This is what some of the buildings would look like if there was a zombie apocalypse. These are the houses. You could just imagine you would come across this neighborhood and you would pitch up here, have like a little tent or something. You don't know how stable are these floors. Oh, this is an elevator shaft? Wow. So let's see how high this goes up. It's so silent here as well. There's no sound. I'm guessing this would have been a fireplace. And then up there, second story, which obviously you can't get up to because there's no stairs. They built, obviously, the elevator shaft to get up there, and that's not installed, so you can't even get up there. So right now we're trying to get to the top because there's some more completed ones that got further along in the construction process, so they actually have like windows and doors and I guess stuff inside.
It's got a garage and everything.
I had red tape. This is caution safe.
Oh, those.
what am I?
What does that writing say?
No peeing, no shitting here.
It's got a new house smell. You still got windows and doors. I don't know if I trust this construction to keep. Wow, look at that view. So you can see. So this is at the top of the hill where you can see all of the other abandoned mansions, and this one is probably one of the most complete. It's still got windows, it's still got doors, and it's still intact. But this is a nice house. They really cut the funding and stopped making them. Look how far that drops down there.
So when the houses were built,
Yeah.
did people buy them?
Uh,
No, they got given them.
yeah.
It wasn't long until a woman approached us and told us firmly we weren't allowed to film here. We had to leave, no questions and no explanation. This only made us more suspicious, so we tried to find out more answers. And what we found out next made that moment with the lady feel a lot more serious.
It's the story of a businessman who was murdered in a Chongqing hotel, the same one we visited a few days ago. And at that time, we had no idea this could be connected. The story made global headlines. It was so big that China wasn't able to censor it. It didn't stop them from trying though, because Chinese police did try and cover it up as alcohol poisoning. But problem is, Haywood was known to not be a big drinker. And so as the British government pushed for answers, the the truth slowly unraveled.
Turns out Haywood had deep connections to elite Chinese officials, helping them quietly move money overseas. One of his closest clients was Gu Kailei, the woman who would eventually visit his hotel room and with the help of 2 other men poison him. Gu Kailei didn't act alone. Her husband was Bo Xilai, and a man many believed would lead China one day. Haywood allegedly threatened to expose their financial dealings, which led to his demise in room 1605.
The cover-up was only exposed when a police chief fled to a US consulate and revealed everything. What followed, and I cannot stress this enough, was one of the biggest political scandals in China's recent history. Gu Kailei was convicted of murder and only narrowly escaped the death penalty, while Bo himself was sentenced to life in prison. And not only that, but a wave of corruption charges took down much of his inner circle. Now here's the thing. All of that happened in 2012, the exact same year we were being told that these mansions were suddenly abandoned. No announcements, no press, just silence. Now, we may never know what part Bo had to play in these mansions or whether it was just local rumors.
Whether this neighborhood was abandoned through political corruption or connected to the murder of Neil Haywood or something completely unrelated, it's clearly a secret this city once dead and buried, left to rot in ruin just like the neighborhood itself.
My mind is boggled. I don't think I was prepared for what I just saw. I kind of was expecting something like, I don't know, like 1 or 2 houses.
Yeah, we basically saw Chinese El Chapo's house. Literally